In the digital world, you need great, secure, and reliable cloud storage. That's just a reality of life. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite option for that, sync.com, and why I switched from a different service. I'll get to that a little bit later. But first, the main thing is if you want to be able to share files with people, if you want to have any kind of digital life and have it on the go, then you need a good file sharing solution. And sync.com is a great option to do that. Later in the video, I'll show how you can get a free account with sync.com. But first, let's go over some of the features and the benefits. And so you can understand why I've chosen this after researching a lot of different cloud platforms for storing my files online. Sync.com is actually more secure than Dropbox, and it's a really popular alternative to Dropbox because of a few factors. I'm going to get to those a little bit later on in this video, but I think that you'll be surprised when you realize what you can actually get with sync.com and how that compares to some of the other file sharing cloud programs. First, let's talk about why cloud storage is essential. For me, I run basically a one-person business and I do a lot of things. I run a YouTube channel and I create digital products and I market and a whole bunch of stuff going on. And when you have those things, you have a lot of files. You have financial spreadsheets, you have audio files, you have video files, you have image files, and you have just stuff that you've either created as a product creator or things that you want to go through in terms of learning new skills and things like that. So there's a lot of uses for cloud storage. And basically what you want to be is not tied to your desktop computer. So if you want to have a laptop that's a little bit light, that doesn't have a 2 terabyte hard drive, then you really want to have something like sync.com so you can have the files that you're using right now accessible to you and quick access to those files that you don't need to have on your device right now. And that's where sync.com really shines as a provider. I'm often using different computers. Right now, I'm on a MacBook Pro, and then my wife uses a MacBook Air. My son uses a Chromebook, and we also have a Windows computer. And then, of course, we have digital devices as well. And then, of course, we have iOS devices, Android devices, a whole lot. And one of the things that's really frustrating is particularly when you want to access a certain file and it's on a different computer, and maybe that computer is in use, or you want to access it on a different platform. For example, I might have a file on my MacBook, and then I want to read that on an Android, like a PDF. That's really difficult to just email and take up a lot of space and then download a file and duplicate files and all that sort of stuff. So a cloud solution like sync.com really helps bring things together and makes your whole business and your whole digital life a lot more organized. And for me, that's very important. I also have to share links with outsourcers. So oftentimes I'll want to share a specific folder or maybe even a specific file with someone directly. An unelegant way to do that would be to attach a file to an email, send it as a large attachment. If it's over 25 megabytes, it will have to be stored in Google Drive. And that just takes up space and causes a lot of clutter and confusion. Whereas if I'm using sync.com, I can just send them a link and I can have certain settings on how they're able to access that file, which I really. So let's hop over to my mobile device and I'll show you why I like sync.com for accessing files on the go.
This is the Sync mobile app, and in my demo account here, you'll see that you can have different folders and files, and there's even a shared folder. It's easy to tell the shared folders apart because it's got the little icon on it, and you can go into any of these folders. Now, what I like about this is it's really fast and it's easy to load what you want. So for example, I've got a PDF here. You can see that it loads and I'd be able to read the PDF or zoom in on it. If I want to refresh, I can just swipe down it or refresh. It can play videos right in app, which is great. There's no sound on that video. And it can even load a CSV. So this is a CSV file. And I can easily load that and look at that. Now, I wouldn't want to edit a CSV file on this, but it helps that you can load those sorts of files. Also, if I go into the video projects here, there's some MP3s here, and these are for use in a different video project. But as you can see, You can just click it and it will start to play. You can also adjust the speed of how fast you want this to play. So you can really do whatever you want in this app. And I really find it very useful, and it's easy to access all your files on the go, which is really important, I think, for anyone that wants to accomplish a lot of things in the day. So the vault, this is another aspect of it where you can actually store files that are online only. And I've got another PDF here that you can see. You can access things there, put things in there. You can also star your first file folder, and here you can create links. So this is a link that I've shared. So if I go into it, I can give this link to someone, I can delete this link, I can set a password for this link, an expiry date, a download limit, any of the things that I want to do to restrict this link to keep it as secure as possible. And of course, there's different settings. You can play with these different settings how you want. It's all in the app there. That's the iOS app. They also have an Android app as well. It just really works. If you want to be able to access your files on the go, it's really easy to do with sync.com.
Another thing that's important to me is the centralization of the assets. So this is important if I'm doing any kind of video editing, course creation. There's just a ton of different files of file formats. There's different people working on it. I'll have my wife working on some of the design, some of the graphic elements of it. And keeping that all centralized, you really need something that's cross-platform and is going to be able to sync to multiple devices, and you're going to be able to access it fast, and you can work on the same files. And that's one thing that I think is really underrated in terms of productivity. If you are looking for files, if you're searching your hard drive, if you realize, oh, it's on the other computer, and then you're looking for it, that eats up a lot of time and a lot of energy in the creative process. And so if you are a creator or a business owner, you just don't have time for that. So you really want something that you can use that's going to help organize your digital life and keep things on track. So essentially, it just creates a nice, stressless experience for your digital life. And let's face it, a lot of people's hard drives can get very cluttery very fast. So this is something that can actually be a solution to that for you. And let's jump in and I'll show you what I really like about sync.com. So when you're on the page, you can actually just create an account, and that's what you're going to do in order to start your account with sync.com. It works really fantastically if you need to share files either sometimes or frequently. And they have these pro versions as well, where you can access your files everywhere. In terms of privacy, Sync is really safe. And it's actually the gold standard in terms of safety and privacy. And I think that's really important because obviously, if they're sharing your files and you want to have important files, some of those files are going to be sensitive. They're going to have maybe financial data or secrets about your company or your competitors or things like that. So it's really got some strong encryption on the files. And that means that when you're accessing your files on the internet, they're encrypted. So no one else is able to access them. So in full disclosure, I originally was using sync.com, and then I moved to Dropbox. I think I got a special deal for that. And now I'm actually back to Sync. And there's a few reasons for that, but I just wanted to let you know that I've used both of these in the past for my entire business. What I'm showing you right now is just a test account, but I have actually used both of them, and so I can compare them. And one of the problems with Dropbox is the privacy. They've had privacy and policy issues in the past, and you'll see people talking about it on Reddit. There's a privacy report here. They've looked at the privacy policy, proton.com, who again is known for their privacy. Security and privacy is beyond subpar. So it's easy to use, but it's not the most secure platform for you. It's also significantly more expensive. And I think that's something to keep in mind, because ultimately with Sync, you're getting a superior product with a lower price tag. And I know that's hard to understand, but it's really about just the place in the market, whether it's advertising or first to market. But Dropbox has that bigger name recognition. And so naturally they can command higher prices just because people know the name. And so that's what we want to try to do with this video is show you what you should be using, because just because it's the biggest name doesn't mean it's the best quality. Take McDonald's, for example. Everyone's heard of McDonald's. And although I will be known to indulge in McDonald's from time to time, it's certainly not the best burger around. So there are significantly better burgers that you can find. But I think when it comes down to pricing, it's really obvious that Dropbox is significantly more expensive. So they compared this, and for 5 users on the sync, it's $30 a month compared to Dropbox for $75 a month. That's $540 a year. Okay. Now these are for business prices. So if you have multiple users, very significant savings for switching to Sync. If we look at the pricing of sync.com, and let's say you're an individual, you can get a free account, absolutely free, never expires. This allows you to use some of the features and get actually 5 gigabytes for free with basic sharing. If you're a solo entrepreneur like me, then you'd probably want to get something like this, where you have the 2 of storage online that's secure, advanced sharing options for $8 a month, or the professional, which gives you 6 terabytes of data as well. So one thing I think here is you can see just the different options here. And they also have a 180-day revision history. So if you delete a file and then you realize 179 days later that you need that, you can go get that. They have account rewinds. You can rewind the account to any point in the future, which is just fantastic, because this is very important. If, let's say, your website gets hacked or something like that, then you'd want to go to a point in time before that hack. And this allows you to do that. There's remote share wipe, which is pretty awesome. 2FA you can put on your account, which is important. I definitely recommend using a password manager as well. You can transfer the account ownership, file requests, just on and on. You can get all these options. Now, if we look at Dropbox, I just wanted to compare the plans on Dropbox, and you can see this is different if you're billed monthly or billed yearly. But for personal use, you're looking at 12 euros a month. And that's going to be very significant. But you'll see here only 30 days to restore deleted files. Sometimes, trust me, you want more than 30 days. For this one here, the Essentials, you're looking at $19 a month. And that's a very significant subscription fee for a solo entrepreneur. And then this is where you get tracking the file engagement and PDF editing and a lot of the other features. So the pricing on both of these, for what you get here, this is very significant. And keep in mind, this is something that once you set up and you're using it, you're going to be using it for a long time. It's not like it's easy to leave one of these services, because you end up having a lot of files on them, and that takes up a lot of storage. All right, so let's pop in and look at how this works in reality. So I'm going to be logged into here to my account that I started for this demo. And you can see you have different folders here. So this is a whole shared folder, and you can make a new shared folder here. What's nice about a shared folder is everything you add to it after is going to be shared with the same people. So this is great if you have a certain project that you're working on together, and it's only that specific project. You can star either folders or projects. And again, you can see on the app here, this is logged into the account. You can actually share specific files. So I really like this because you can share these as a link, and you can actually email it just to a certain person, or you can adjust the link settings, and you can set, as is shown on the mobile, you can set a password, you can set file permissions, you can expire this, you can set a download limit, you can email or disable email notifications, and allow comments. And this I like as the default, because it allows people to comment on what I'm sharing with them. So that's awesome. You can also delete the link and remove settings from people if you want to do that. And online, the same sort of thing. You can open this or you can download it. You can access the version history, so you can see how this file has changed, if it has, and a whole bunch of great features. This is the same thing with the video. You can open it, you can download if you want and watch that. And so this is the site. And then you can see your sharing, your team shares, which is good. So you can see who shared different things with what links have been shared, what's been shared externally, all that kind of stuff. Now, from the desktop perspective, if I just go to, let's say, sync.com, it puts a folder right here called sync. And so it's very easy to, let's say, this is a very large file, but I could just sync that and move that to a backup folder. Same with any of these different items. I can just move them, drag them in to my sync folder, and then they'll be available online. So if I go back to the files here, we'll see that we've already got these new files loaded. So it's very easy to sync. Now they are working on Cloud Sync, which is in beta. And what that's going to allow you to do is that's going to have the feature similar to Dropbox, where from, let's say, a Mac, you can actually just click on a file and right click on it and make it online only. That feature's in beta. It's coming soon. But again, they're not going to rush it out. They want to make sure everything works flawlessly. And that's the thing I love about Sync is your data is secure, and they really value that privacy and that data. And that's why I think it's a great option for people. So basically the Vault is like an individual bucket for each device. So you can actually just have things that you might want to just have on certain devices, and you don't want to necessarily have that on other devices. So you'll be able to do that. You can also remote wipe items. So you can actually wipe it out if you've shared it with someone. You can remove that sharing and delete it from not only your computer, but their computer. So anyone that you remote wipe, it will wipe it off their computer. And that's great for a security feature as well. Everyone in business, I'm sure, has had a rogue freelancer or someone that you just realize, hey, this person isn't right. And you just want to make sure that they don't have access. So that's what remote wipe is really good for. I did want to show what it looks like on a different. So as a demo, I shared a link with my son here, and you can see you get an email like this, right? They'll get an email that they shared a secure link. And so this is what it looks like from their perspective. And this is great, especially if you're on a computer with a small hard drive like a Chromebook. I can share this link with them. They'd be able to click on it and see that, so they can either play this, they can download it, or they can add a comment, which I think is a great feature as well. So if you have, let's say, a Chromebook, this is pretty essential because it allows you to take those files, a small hard drive, have a very light computer, and then be able to still access those online. Let's say you're at a coffee shop and you realize, oh, yes, I need to access that file. You'll be able to download it. So that's one of the benefits of not just a Chromebook, but any kind of cloud storage, any kind of laptop device, any kind of computer, really. You're going to want to access different files, and you're going to be able to do that. So it creates a really frictionless experience for you to go out and build your business and do those creative things without realizing, oh, I'm missing this or I'm missing that. And that just, I don't know how I survived without that, because it just makes so much sense. It's absolutely essential to be able to access the files that you need when you need them. It just makes sense. And with the cloud storage and with us having all different devices, not only just between Windows and Mac, but also when you think of mobile devices and iPads, being able to access those files quickly and easily without friction is really just, it makes your life so much easier. And I think that there's enough problems without having to worry about the file formats. And the other thing I really love about Sync is the ability to share files securely. So I can share them. I can put all these conditions on the link that I share. and I'm able to remote wipe. So if I ever want to remove access, I can do that as well from my end. And I just trust that Sync will have my data and I'll be able to access it quickly. So this is what I use now. As I said, I used to use Dropbox, but this is so much better value for people. Dropbox is a lot more expensive and you're paying for that name recognition and an actually inferior product. So that's why I would say sync.com. If you're looking for cloud storage, you do want to do your research because it's something you're probably going to be using for a long time, like many years. And you'd be doing yourself a favor to start with sync.com because you can grow and scale and increase your storage. You can add team members. It's all got really fair pricing. And it's, in my opinion, one of the essential things you need if you are doing any kind of business online, right? Like maybe if you're just use your computer for Facebook and checking email, then maybe you don't need anything more than the free plan with this. But if you are building a business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you are a solopreneur, if you're a creative person and you create content for any kind of social media platforms, then you really need to start using sync.com because the boost that you're going to get in productivity is very significant. And as I said, I've used sync.com. It's got all the features that you need, and it's got the privacy and the security to share your links. But the thing that I love best about it really is the accessibility. So being able to, if I'm on the go, if I'm on my mobile device, I can open up a PDF and read through something that I have on my list without worrying about trying to find things. And that kind of frictionless cloud storage solution is something that I think everyone needs. So, like a Thneed in Dr. Zeus, it's a thing that everyone needs. So, check it out. Grab your free account. I'll put a link in the description for you to either get a free account or you can get one of the paid accounts like I have and start using it and see how much of a boost in productivity that it does give you. So with that, if you've used sync.com, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you're currently using for cloud storage in the comments, and I'll be able to respond to you and get back to you about that. And last but not least, if you like this video, if you want to see more videos and more tutorials like this, then be sure to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell, and it'll help my videos show up in your newsfeed